Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And this is the peculiar $330 Nextdrive N7 seated scooter. Let me tell you more about it.
Wrong way.
And first of all, also a huge thank you to Banggood for sending me this scooter for testing purposes. Though this is not a sponsored video, I might receive a kickback if you order this scooter from the link below. The price with the current coupon is $330, which I think is a really good bargain for this kind of scooter. I said maybe I'll receive a kickback because I actually did not talk about all the details of this coupon. Anyways, this is a totally independent review, and I'll also tell you about all the minor things and setbacks of the scooter and of ordering from Banggood. And before I jump into the specifications and the review, yes, indeed, this is a asymmetric scooter with excellent build quality, actually. And just to show you, here we have 20 centimeters or 19 centimeters, and on this side we have 31. So the steering column is actually shifted. So why again is this handlebar and this driver column shaped in this way? I have a couple thoughts, but first I want to see your opinion. Wrong answers only. And actually, it's not only the driving column, it's also the single swing arm design of the front and the rear wheel mount. So if you look from this side, you will see just the wheels, which looks, I think, really cool and modern. Yeah. And from the other side, you'll see the front disc brake and the rear swing arm. So what I've noticed with this kind of design is that it's absolutely cool. This is like the coolest scooter that you can get with a seat. I mean, if someone on a Xiaomi sees you on the scooter, their jaw will drop. But the second thing is, it is actually easier to drive with one hand on the scooter, holding your hand on this longer side of the driving column. It also has a different turning radius. If you turn left, this is just 90 degrees, but if you turn right, it's 270 degrees. Yeah, so then it looks like this. Yeah, this makes it a little more portable, I guess. And if you were to put it against the wall, actually it would take up just a little bit less space, because normally it would just be a tad longer here. Yeah, but that's all the sort of logical answers I could come up with. I'm way more curious about your comments. And while you're at it, also give this video a like. So 2 days ago, a UPS driver called me and told me he has a package for me. And I'm very grateful to be in this position to sometimes forget what I'm getting to test. And it was nearly, I think, 5 months, if I'm not wrong, since Banggood told me that I would receive the scooter. So it actually should come in November, but it came in March. So right after the box came to my doorstep, I started opening it and I realized that it is the Nextdrive N7 scooter. And when I first saw this handlebar and I saw this really interesting type design of the scooter, I was kind of blown away. And it's difficult to surprise me with new personal electric vehicles. The build quality seems to be actually really good. I really like the metal design of the scooter. There's no rattling. It's very, very robust, actually. And I was just so curious to try out how it drives, and well, it drives really good actually. If you know the Ninebot Max, this is a very similar ride experience. The weight is also similar. It's 19 kilograms, but you do have the additional seat. Now, there is no version without the seat, which I find to be a really huge bummer, because I quite often just stood up on the scooter and I rode standing up, which was actually super comfortable. The scooter doesn't have any suspension, and I remember saying in my video about the TechLife L5T that I wouldn't recommend you a scooter without any rear suspension with a seat. And yeah, if you drive on just on pavement, this won't be super comfortable for you, but actually on asphalt it's pretty good, and I really didn't suspect that. Reason for it might be the tires. These tires are really, really wide. They might be even wider than on the Cabo Skywalker scooters. These are, I think, 3-inch wide tires. These are tubeless tires, like on the Ninebot Max. 2 layers, that's what's written on them. And they also have a really low tire pressure, just around 30 psi. If you know the Xiaomi M365 scooter, there are lots of people who drive with 60, 65 psi. Here it is 30. So it is a thicker tire, so it's more resistant for punctures. It will also eat up the bumps a bit better. It's also a 10-inch tire, front and rear. It has a lot of rubber, so yeah, probably this solution, if you don't have any suspension, is the best choice of a tire wheel combination you can get. Naturally, I also need to test the hill climbing abilities of each scooter. This is a long run up around 7 degrees steep or 10 degrees steep. So this kind of hills you can encounter in your day-to-day use, but not too often. So let's see how this 300 watt Nextmove N7 performs. The seller states that it's capable of 15 degree hills, which I highly doubt. Right. It powers on through. Oh yeah, very slowly, but it does get up a little. Probably with less charge it wouldn't be possible. Okay, I guess that's enough. So probably 7 to 10 degrees is the maximum limit that you can get on the scooter. Good mechanical brakes. The scooter features a 36 volt and 10.8 amp hour battery, so bigger than the regular Xiaomi M365, but smaller than the M365 Pro. This is around 370 watt hours, so just like the Ninebot ES4. I also did a range test of the scooter. Now keep in mind it was raining and I think I had just maybe 95% of the battery, and again the water was powering out of the front mudguard, and I actually got 19 kilometers out of it, which is around like 11 or 12 miles, which is a surprisingly good result in my opinion. I'm sure that if it was dry and if I had just this couple percent more in the battery, I would reach 25 kilometers, and this was also in the highest setting. The speed there is around 25-30 kilometers depending on your battery state. Propelling the scooter is a 300 watt brushless motor in the rear. I don't know what the peak power is, but it's yeah, probably in the neighborhood of 3 hamsters in a wheel. Yeah, probably something around that. There's also a charge port which is sealed from the rain. Looks very similar to the Xiaomi M365 Pro. I don't know if you should use the scooter in the rain, probably not. I know how it will look like in the long term, but in the short term, riding in the rain was just fine. But Adam, for this price there have to be like some kind of setbacks, and yes, you are right. Let me guide you through them. Number one is, I don't know why, but the scooter has a brake here, which also activates the regenerative braking, but also one here. I mean, it's like, I think that's superfluous, but it's here. And riding with just one hand, having the brake in one place and the accelerator as well is really comfortable. The handlebars don't fold, and they're secured in place with these visible Phillips head screws. Now this one doesn't move, and this one I tried to tighten up a bit more, but it still does move. Maybe I need to tighten it up a bit more, even a bit more. All the things, the rubber sealants here look fine. Maybe there might become rain coming in from here, but I'm not sure. Maybe from here, I'm not sure again. And here it's again a bit better sealed. If you turn on the screen, it's basically not visible. If you look from the seated position, you would probably need to look from here to see it, but again, it's very poorly visible. There are two modes. I always ride in the second mode, don't know what the first one is. The second mode reaches a max speed of like 30, maybe 32 kilometers an hour. And probably my biggest gripe with the scooter is that it has no front lighting. I mean, at all. There's not even a sign of lighting up in the front, which is a huge bummer. I think there should be at least a small light like on the Xiaomi M365 to show that a scooter is coming. You definitely need to buy additional lighting for the scooter. Now in the rear the situation looks better. There are really some nice, I mean a nice LED here, which also works as a brake light. Really nice. And one more thing, it doesn't have cruise control, and actually you need to push the scooter until 3 kilometers an hour to just activate the motor. This is not very practical in a seated scooter. So comfortable to drive with just one hand, just look at it. There is also no horn, there is no bell, and these parts here, they just feel a bit cheap. And here's also the clasp which holds the scooter when it's folded. And one more thing is that here the rear air inflation thingy is very hard to reach, and the front one is pretty much not possible to reach unless you just get this cover off, which I honestly don't know how to do, and the same cover is also in the rear. But I actually think that there are more good sides to this scooter than bad sides, and I wanted to emphasize on those as well. I think first of all, the build quality is really good. I mean, there's nothing at all, no play in the front steering column. This is not the case on other scooters in this price category. And there's this really nice clasp, these two quick release clamps. I mean, this is awesome, just awesome. I think this is even better than on some of the Zero or Tech Life scooters because it's higher. I think this clasp is actually higher than on my Mantis scooter, which I have at home for testing. And the same clasp is also here, so also on the seat there should be no movement at all. Now yeah, this doesn't look so good with these screws here, and all the screws are visible pretty much everywhere, but all in all I really dig the design. There are two colors available. It's this gunmetal gray, and there's also a white version. The mudguards also work really well. They're really long, and the front one especially is also really long and protects you from any kind of dirt up in the front. It's very seldom that you can see the front part of the scooter so clean. Yeah, normally this part of the scooter is really dirty. It also has this nice grip tape all over the place, and yeah, that's basically the Nextdrive N7. $118, $105, $55, $10. $45, $53. So if you do have a limited budget on a seated scooter, or you just want to get something cheap to get you around the city or I don't know, to throw into your camper or anything else. I think this, honestly, it would be difficult, in my opinion, to find something better for this price of $330 at the time of recording this video. And if you would just get this instead of the Xiaomi M365, you're just so much cooler because it just looks really dope. So if you're still here, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you! That was really high. In the next video. See you soon. Thanks for watching.